wow, this is my last time to say this. Welcome, Rotarians and guests. We are Rotarians in Action, and we change lives. Welcome to our program where we get to be able to recognize our new president of the Yakima Downtown Rotary. And so we're going to start off first with talking to Doug Rich. He's going to give us a little information about the song that he decided to pick for music.
Thank you very much, President Eric, or soon to be past President Eric. Jennifer, it was very exciting to be able to introduce you to the club when we tapped you about 16, 17 months ago. When I was asked to be your chair of the music department, it was very easy for me to figure out the song I was going to select for you. But knowing that we ended Eric's year in some rather strange waters and we're starting your year in some rather strange waters as well, I was able to find a rendition of what I believe to be your favorite song done slightly differently. So with that, Dwayne, why don't you just take it away and show the video, please?
What a way to be able to start a meeting. Thank you, past President Doug Rich. Appreciate that. Now for our invocation, past President Rick Pinnell.
Well, it's my pleasure to be the first to from the invocation committee to give a prayer for you, Jennifer, and for our club. So, Holy Father, we thank you for Eric as our leader, our past leader of Rotary this past year. His leadership to Rotary made a difference not only in our club, but in our community. We ask that you watch over Eric and Esther and bless them with good health and peace. We ask your blessings on Jennifer as she takes over as president of our club for the next year. Give her strength, good health, and enjoyment and fun this year. Be with our club to help us live by our motto of service above self. Be with Jennifer's family during this year. Help us to use the Rotary four-way test each day. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let us use our Rotary four-way test in our professional and personal relationships every day. Please watch over Jennifer as we begin her year this year. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, past President Rick Pinnell. Sergeant of Arms, Casey Corr.
Thank you. So I want to thank in advance Dwayne for being my Vanna White by flipping the slides as we go through this presentation. Dwayne, you're not wearing that white gown that I suggested. Okay, we'll have to proceed anyway. I'm the new chair of the Sergeant of Arms Committee, and an idea that's come up I think is quite good. We have difficulty collecting fines during our virtual gatherings, and yet Rotary has budgeted a sum of money that we use for Yakima Rotary programs. And so some people have suggested, why don't we ask members to voluntarily donate their fines in lieu of handing over their $1, $2, $3, $4 at our meetings. So look for an email on this. I think it's a good idea, and this would be voluntary, and I would encourage everybody to participate in this, as I will. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some slides with Vanna White flipping them. There we are. Next slide, Vanna. To participate in the trivia portion, at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there's a little icon for chat. And right now I see 13 people already in the chat. So click on that when I ask for a question, and then you can just type in an answer. Okay, the last message I see is from John Cooper saying here. Good job, John. Okay, so the topic today is masks. And the thing that puzzles me is, why is this so hard? We've been doing this for a long time. We see masks in a lot of different venues, a lot of different situations. So if you look here, this is Italy, and this is a guy wearing a mask in a theater form called Commedia dell'arte, and this goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. Here's another one. In Japan, this is the No theater. The characters wear different masks. And of course, in sports, we have our great favorite. No, this is not the Yakima City Council. This is wrestling. And on stage, everybody knows Phantom of the Opera. And we see it in some of our favorite movies in Hollywood. Okay, so the guy on the right is Zorro. The guy on the left is Lone Ranger. Here's your audience participation. When the Lone Ranger got on his horse, does anybody remember what he would yell out when he wanted to take off? Oh, yes. Okay, we're getting a lot of correct answers. But
over.
That's close. But in honor of our outgoing president, what the Lone Ranger said was, "Hi-ho, Eric Silvers away." All right. You're a very good crowd. You're a very good crowd. Thank you. The next trivia question, if Anna White can flip the slide. Okay, who can remember the name of this group? And it is not the new police uniform in Seattle. A lot of people put Power Rangers. That is partially correct. So you only have, the fine is 50 cents. The correct name is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. All right, next slide, please. More people in masks. Okay, now we've got Batman and Robin, the Green Hornet, and Kato. All right, two of the people in these slides have a connection to Seattle. Do you know who those people are? David Links has the right answer. And Alan, yes, yes, yes. Okay, the correct answer is Adam West, who played Batman, grew up in Seattle. And on the right, Kato, the world famous Bruce Lee, spent most of his childhood and upbringing in Seattle. He even went to the University of Washington. And masks can be cool. This is the party of the century, organized by Truman Capote in 1966. So this is clearly a theme that we can pursue for our next Rotary gathering. So are masks that hard? Well, we've done it in the past. We did this almost over 100 years ago. We wore these masks. And I'd like to point out that the masks today have gotten much better. Here is the Seattle Police Department in 1918, all decked out in their very fashionable masks. Okay, here's another audience participation. These are people in costumes from the bubonic plague. And in the 17th century, the physician to the King of France designed this outfit for physicians going around to take care of the dead and the dying. Why does that mask have that giant protuberance? I'm seeing no answers. Jimmy Durante is not correct. Nope. Nope. All right, somebody put flowers to stop the smell. That's Amy, and that is the correct answer. Thank you, Amy. Next slide.
It was the correct answer?
Apparently.
Yeah, they stuffed that snout with herbs and flowers to manage the smell from the dead and dying. But they knew they needed some protection, but they made a mistake where they put in little holes, and that allowed some of the vapors, as they called them, to intrude. Okay, so there's a right way to wear a mask, and there's a wrong way. Clearly, this guy did not get the message. Here's another guy. He's wearing a mask, but it is an unusual mask. worn normally by University of Oregon football fans when they're watching a game. So here's the right way. You see, it's supposed to cover your nose and your mouth and wrap under your chin and be firm on the sides to limit the amount of air being expelled. And I'm just looking at John Cooper. He's looking perfect. Okay. And Eric Silver's looking great. Okay, so everybody's wearing a mask. We got the protesters, the cops, children, Mitch McConnell, the vice president, Dr. Fauci, the head of China, Macron, the head of France, who all the women love. And, oh, I won't mention him because I don't want to have to write an apology. The next one is the former vice president. Oh, and go back. Okay, so now everyone's wearing a mask. Well, almost everybody. So you've got some people that won't comply, including a local official who I won't name. So look, this is very important to our public safety. A recent study showed that 65% of Yakima is now wearing masks, and we've seen some slight improvement in our infection rates. And if you look closely, you'll see at least 2 of our Rotary members wearing masks and participating in this social media campaign. So everybody, thanks. And the message is, wear your mask, even when you're swimming, maybe. Thank you. That's it for me.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you very much, Derek Casey. Appreciate that. And I love the applause. The applause is fantastic.
Yeah. That was hard to get.
Next, we have a special presentation. We have our past Rotary exchange student, Oscar. Oscar, talk to us.
Yes, hello. Well, yes, I am the exchange student from almost 10 years ago now. As a matter of fact, actually on this day, 10 years ago, I got my very first letter from the Bliesners, basically welcoming me to their home, which I would be going to in the end of August in 2010. Yeah, and I first came into contact with them. Just because I saw the email out of nostalgia, I was going to read some of the email that I sent. But basically, I tried reading it, and after a few sentences, I just stopped because, my conclusion is 18-year-old me wasn't nearly as mature as I would like to admit. So just out of nostalgia, I would like to keep all of the good memories and listen to the WSU song over and over again, because Jennifer definitely burned that into my mind. We had a neighbor just by chance who used to be at UW. The neighbor, by the way, was here in the Netherlands. And the neighbor went to UW, and just to annoy him, every now and then I would put the speaker in the backyard and play the WSU song. So it's all due to Jennifer and Terry's work. Well, they took me in when I was when I just left home. They were my very first host family, and they took me in just as I had embarked on my exchange year, which turned out to be quite an adventure. Yeah, I'm just so incredibly grateful for them to have given me the opportunity to come and visit and stay in the United States. But, it was amazing. When I first met them, they were waiting for me at the airport with signs, all excited to see me. And we just clicked immediately. But I didn't just click with them. I also had the same click with my second and my third host families. My second host family were the Antonios, Leanne and Ben, which I have seen somewhere in this Zoom meeting. And my last host family were the Hargraves. As I found out later, much later, during my first weeks at Davis, I always went to the Rotary meetings. And apparently, when you skip a class at Davis, the school phones the registered guardians and tells them that their kid has skipped school. So basically, after a couple of months in the US, I had skipped lots and lots of classes. And by the time I went to the Antonios, they told me that every time I skipped a class, they would get a phone call just saying, well, we know you skipped class, but we guess you were doing something important. Yeah, and I'm still convinced I had very, very good reasons just to basically skip class. My last host parents were the Hargraves, David and Cindy, with their 2 daughters. And within Jennifer having introduced me to David, 5 minutes later, David told me we would be going to Hawaii, which was mind-blowing for somebody out of the Netherlands. This small country, nobody ever goes to literally the other side of the world. And they told me, well, we were gonna go. And yeah, it was just very, very cool for them to take me. Yeah, just so many good memories. I have so much stuff written down that I would like to tell all of you. But Jennifer told me I only have 2 minutes, which I'm guessing I'm already over at this point. But fortunately, if everything goes well, by the end of this year in December, depending on the whole Corona and COVID situation, I am planning on going to the United States again, and I'm planning on visiting all of my host parents, the Bliesners, Antonios, and the Hargraves. And I will, of course, be joining a Rotary meeting as well. So I have heard people ask me for some dirt on Jennifer. I will tell you in person. I cannot do this on this chat. So yeah, basically, thank you for having me. Thank you to the club for having hosted me for an entire year. And if anybody's ever in the southern area of the Netherlands, in the Maastricht area, I'd be more than happy to grab a couple of beers with any of you. So thank you.
Wow, that was fantastic. Thank you. Live from the Netherlands. Wow, great. So our greeters, we have a very special thing for you, Jennifer. So our greeters are going to be our 2020-2021 board members. So I hope you enjoy this, Jennifer, for you.
The Prez and the Fez by Dr. Seuss. It was sunny outside, but we couldn't go out. The gov said to stay in or mask up when about. We sat there with Carolyn. On Zoom we sat all, our faces in squares as we talked with John Ball.
So all we could do was to sit, 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 and we did not like it, not one little bit.
Then something went ding, and that ding made us sing. Listened and listened, then as Dwayne Monick says, she appeared in a dress, the Prez and the Fez.
And she said to us, "Why do you sit there like that, in your boxes wide-eyed? Outside it is sunny, even though you're inside."
We can find things to do. We must find them, we can. Just listen to me, my Rotary clan.
"I know of some things we can do," said the Prez. "Some things that help people," said the Prez and the Fez.
Then she logged off. Then as fast as a fox, the Prez and the Fez appeared back in the box.
I know what we'll do, says the Prez and the Fez. I know this involves you and you and you and you.
We'll all work together and mind the four-way test. We're all one big family that we know is best.
Then the Prez took the gavel from Eric with a smile and started on new projects that she knew were worthwhile. We all were on board as we heard from the Prez that our year would be splendid with the Prez and the Fez.
Fantastic for you, Jennifer, the Prez and the Fez. Wow. So now to introduce our speaker, we have none other than Doug Picatti. Doug, let's go ahead and introduce our speaker.
My name is Doug Picatti. I am the president of Picatti Brothers. It is my great honor to introduce our 102nd Downtown Rotary President, Jennifer Bliesner. I believe this Rotary year is a year unlike any other. I am certain all of you are thinking about our new president and how she will lead our historic club through these unprecedented times, ensuring our success as a club of excellence for the next 100 years. Your downtown Yakima Rotary Club is a very unique organization. We are known throughout the Rotary community and our community at large as a club that gets things done. We change the world by making a difference in the lives of people in our community every day. To name just a few of the challenges for our club this year, we are experiencing civil unrest unlike any we have had seen since the 1960s. We are amid a global pandemic. Worldwide, we have over 9 million confirmed cases, almost 500,000 deaths, and are around 150,000 new cases every day. We are in a global and countrywide recession. Over 42.5 million Americans have filed for unemployment during the coronavirus pandemic. The Rotary president is a difficult, time-consuming job in good times. In addition to the myriad of operational duties, the president is responsible for selecting 48 committee chairs, setting the strategic direction for the club for their Rotary year, and creating and running the weekly lunch meetings. Also, this year is a Rotary auction year. The president is responsible to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars so the club can do the good works we as members expect to do all year long. Our new Rotary president will have to run our club differently, and we will have to respond to these changes. We cannot currently meet each week. We are unable to gather and have fellowship. Our weekly meetings are now online, and our staff is working from home. We need a leader unlike any other in our history. We need one that can navigate the storm and get us to June 30th, 2021, in a world we cannot even imagine yet. We need Jennifer Bliesner. Jennifer has experience. She has been on the board of directors for many organizations: United Way of Central Washington, Yakima Valley Tourism, the Independent Insurance Agents of Yakima County, the St. Paul Cathedral School Student Advisory Commission, a member of the Monsignor John Ecker Foundation. Jennifer is also very involved in the Junior League of Yakima. She has been on the board of directors, a president, and won the prestigious Junior League Sustainer of the Year award in 2019 for her community service. And of course, Jennifer has been very involved in Rotary. She has been a board of directors. She has been on the board of directors for the Yakima Rotary Trust. She has been the chair of many Rotary committees, and of course the co-chair of the Rotary auction in 2016. Jennifer is knowledgeable. She graduated from Washington State University with a BA in Communications, with a double emphasis in broadcasting and advertising. Jennifer, we all know, is a hard worker. She went to work in the television advertising industry as a local sales manager for KNDO, KNDU TV. There, Jennifer managed a staff of 20 employees. Jennifer assisted with many community service endeavors, including the KNDO Family Food Drive, Coats for Kids, Toys for Tots. Currently, Jennifer is a partner at Terrell, Lewis, and Wilkie Insurance. Jennifer specializes in commercial insurance and medical benefits for the local business community. Jennifer's work takes her throughout the state of Washington and exposes her to many businesses, owners, and employees. Jennifer exudes service above self. Jennifer was born in Tacoma and credits her parents for teaching her the value of community service. One of Jennifer's very first memories is of volunteering with her mother in the child care facility at the local YWCA. Jennifer attended Stadium High School, serving as a Daffodil Festival princess. In this role, Jennifer learned to speak to local service clubs, and this is where she was introduced to Rotary, which quickly became one of her very favorite organizations. Jennifer met Terry, her husband, while at WSU. They are both currently members of the Alumni Association and season ticket holders for the football program. They have 2 children, Katie and Aiden. Katie has fallen in her parents' footsteps at Washington State University, where she will be a sophomore this year. Aiden will be a junior at LaSalle High School. When not working, Jennifer enjoys spending time with her English cream golden retriever, Winston, who has his own Facebook page. Jennifer also enjoys spending time with her family and friends at her cabin near Rimrock Lake. She enjoys golfing, snow skiing, and is a wine connoisseur. Of course, Jennifer has a passion for Rotary, and she cannot wait to get started. Vince Lombardi said, "The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor." Jennifer is committed to excellence. Jennifer is committed to Rotary. Jennifer is committed to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce our 102nd Downtown Rotary President, Jennifer Bliesner. Jennifer Bliesner. Woo!
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Doug Picatti. Really appreciate that. So I have the honor of taking off my pen and being able to present it to you, Jennifer. So if you can reach your hand over there, okay. And then if you can pin that on and know that you are. And Jennifer, as my last thing to be able to say here, you know, we're a big club in a small town with a big heart. And we're doing big things, not only in Yakima, but across the whole world. And I know that you will continue that. So let's give a standing ovation to Jennifer. Woo-hoo!
Oh my goodness, thank you so very much. I'm absolutely overwhelmed. I'm getting a little misty-eyed here, so I gotta kind of pull it all together. Gosh, thank you all so much. What a wonderful way to start this meeting. I'm just absolutely touched. Thank you, Doug, for that amazing introduction. If I ever run for office, Doug has to be my campaign manager. I'm just convinced of it. Wonderful to see Oscar join us with technology all the way across the world. It's absolutely incredible. I also want to say welcome to all my friends that have taken the time to join in. You know, Doug and Darlene Picatti, we've been friends for 25 plus years now. I'm just so honored for all of your support. Brian and Carrie Meyer on, the Bremerman family, Chad, Julie, Hannah, and Emma are watching. Thank you for your support. Southwest President Martin Strike, I saw on. Thank you for joining us as well as you start your year. And I believe I've got some Terrell Lewis and Wilkie teammates on. Donna Martinez, I saw, Drea Castro, and Lori McKimmey. Thank you so much for being a part as well. And also Terry, Aiden, and Katie are all on the Zoom as well, sitting side by side, not more than 20 feet away in the kitchen. And so with modern technology, it's really wonderful to be able to have so many guests join in. It's an absolutely exciting start to my year, although differently than the way I imagined it. And I do have some remarks that are pre-recorded, so I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Dwayne, our executive producer, and have him run those comments. Thank you. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, it's an absolute honor to address you as the 102nd president of what past President Craig Mendenhall rightfully called the finest Rotary Club in America. And while we can't meet in person today, I thank you for taking the time to join me virtually to hear about the plans for the club in the upcoming Rotary year. If we were meeting in person, I would start by asking some special people to stand and be recognized. Since we're meeting online, they'll have to imagine the round of applause they would have received. First, I'd like to thank my husband, Terry. 2 years after this picture was taken, Terry was asked to join Rotary. In 2 more years, I joined the club as well. We were still in our 20s, and we were so honored to be invited to join. I look at that photo of us, and we were such kids. We knew that being in Rotary would help us to meet local professionals and provide an opportunity to network. But we had no idea that Rotary was so much more than that. Rotary has been a real blessing in our lives. Terry serves Rotary quietly. You won't normally see him at the podium, but he's always in the background offering support. I can't thank him enough for the countless hours he spends listening to me talk about nothing but Rotary. He has earned the title of first gentleman of this club. Terry is a retired CPA and owns a food brokerage company called Caden Marketing. He has transitioned from working at home by himself to having me and the kids at home as coworkers. He has been exceptionally patient and kind. Thank you, Terry. Terry and I are also blessed to have 2 generous and kind-hearted kids, Katie and Aiden. Katie is 19 and an intelligent young woman who believes in making the world a better place. Aiden is 16. He's also a super sharp kid with an amazing sense of humor. The kids have grown up with Rotary. From picnics and Christmas programs to helping ring the bell for Salvation Army or sort food at Northwest Harvest, they understand the importance of giving back. Next, I want to thank my team at Terrell Lewis and Wilkie Insurance. Our founder, Mel Lewis, was this club's president in 1982. It's clear his legacy of community service still lives on today. My partners, Rod Lewis, fellow Rotarian Aaron McCoy, and Ken Frick, believe in giving back to the community. Our staff has handled the transition from working in the office to working from home exceptionally well. I'm proud of our team, and I'm grateful for their support. Then there are so many Rotarians I wish to thank. First, I'd like to thank all of the chairs of all of our committees. These Rotarians graciously said yes when I reached out to them a year and a half ago. In fact, several of them even thanked me for asking them to chair a committee. I wish I had time to thank each of you individually, but later in my presentation, I will highlight a few of your committees and the work you're doing this year. Also, I wish to thank our board of directors. Despite these troubled times, these fellow Rotarians still wake up early to meet the third Thursday of every month at 7:30 a.m. They balance work commitments and family time with their volunteerism. They are incredible leaders in our community and a real pleasure to work with. I'm inspired by each and every one of you. If we were meeting in person, I would ask John Ball to come forward to accept his president-elect pin. And while I did mail it to you so you can start wearing it today, here is a virtual pin to accept, John. Congratulations on the official start to your year. Now, you already know this dynamic duo holds it all together. Executive Director Carolyn Flory and Assistant Lorna Huck are exceptional people who are incredibly devoted to our organization. I do not know what we would do without them. And finally, I'd like to thank President Eric for his tremendous leadership during our centennial year. It has been wonderful honoring the traditions of the past 100 years. We earned the right to celebrate at our centennial party last December. It was fantastic hearing 100 seconds of Rotary memories from our past presidents, having 100 Rotarians walk in the Sunfair Parade, and our membership work to recruit 100 new members. It's been an incredible centennial. So now, we turn our attention to the next 100 years, and I ask you, what will our Rotary Club look like in the next 100 years? One of the most exciting and terrifying moments of my life was when 14 members of the club board of directors showed up at my front door to ask me to be president. They literally showed up in this RV. It was overwhelming and such a compliment, and I was on cloud 9 for months. One of the first questions that I got as president-elect was what my theme was going to be. Of course, President Eric had a great theme, and I bet you have it memorized like I do. We are a big club in a small town with a big heart, doing big things not only in Yakima, but around the world. We are people of action, and we change lives. So coming up with a theme for the year actually felt pretty important. After all, themes and slogans communicate your vision and message. I mean, just ask the Lurings about those golden arches. So after seeking some inspiration from Dr. Seuss and enlisting the advertising talent of Kelly Gasling and her team at SPD&G, we created our theme for the year. Rotarians are going places. Well, and then this news hit. On March 13th, 2020, the shelter-in-place order began. And I thought, Rotarians aren't going anywhere. We weren't going out of the house, let alone going to the convention center anymore. And like you, I was so disappointed. And I wondered, how would we be able to build goodwill and better friendships if we couldn't even go anywhere? But you know what? A remarkable thing happened. After only 2 weeks of canceled meetings, we got our meetings on Zoom. President Eric kept us together. With Dwayne Monick's help, our program can now be seen by more people than ever before, by Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. That was a real learning experience for me, and I imagine it was for you too. With so many in our community suffering, we needed to find more ways for Rotary to help. And you sure showed up, donating your meals, raising over $62,000 for our area food banks, giving 1,000 face shields to our local healthcare providers, and awarding 19 academic scholarships online. You see, being a Rotarian isn't about being in a meeting, it's about being on the front lines. It's finding a way to help others when they are hurting the most. As we look to the next 100 years, this next year might look a little different than what Paul Harris imagined. But I submit to you, no matter how long we continue meeting by Zoom, You Rotarians are going places. Back in February, I had the honor of attending the Pacific Northwest Presidents-Elect Training Seminar with 900 fellow Rotarians. One of the most moving moments was the parade of flags representing the 200 countries with Rotary clubs. The sheer magnitude of it was overwhelming. Flags are presented in alphabetical order. The United States of America was naturally the flag toward the end. I kept waiting for our American flag and waiting and waiting. And after about 20 minutes of parading flags, I finally saw it. Wow, can you imagine? 200 countries. Another highlight was listening to Rotary International President Holger Knock from Germany speak. His theme for the year is Rotary Opens Opportunities. His theme is certainly just as relevant after the pandemic as it was before. You don't have to travel to hear his message. You can attend the online Rotary International Virtual Convention by YouTube and see the impact Rotarians have across the globe. You see, we spend a lot of time with our own club activities, but there is an amazing world full of Rotarians. As a Rotarian, you're part of an organization of over 1.2 million people across the world, an organization that contributes 16 million volunteer hours every year, an organization where there is no challenge that is ever too big. The world needs Rotary, and Yakima needs Rotary. In fact, the 6 areas of focus for Rotary International are absolutely 6 areas of focus for the Yakima Valley. That's why our Literacy Committee, led by Carrie Kesey and Dr. Tom Scandalis, academic scholarships led by Karen Ireland, and our vocational scholarships and youth service led by Sonia Rodriguez-True, are working to help mothers and children and support education. So our Interact and Rotaract Committee, led by Austin Beebe, and Jobs for Youth, led by Scott Beyer. Our Employer-Employee Relations Committee, led by Verlyn Best, is working to grow our local economy. A new ad hoc committee led by Eric Silvers is working to promote peace. Our Rotary Foundation, led by John Cooper, continues its work to fight disease by eradicating polio. Your continued support as Paul Harris Fellows helps us get even closer than this close to ending polio. And our Environment Committee, led by Ralph Thompson, keeps our beautiful community clean with cleanups at Rotary Lake and our Welcome to Yakima sign. There are a few more ways our Rotarians are going places this year. One of the first places our Rotarians are going back to is MLK Junior Park to finish the playground. Many thanks to Dan Sullivan, who is anxiously awaiting the word to move forward with rescheduling the build. I'm not sure who's more excited about this playground build, the children or our Rotarians. Playgrounds like this help promote healthy play and exercise and improve the lives of children in our community. Program Committee co-chairs Mina Worthington and Aaron Black have Rotarians going places. While we might expect their meetings will continue by Zoom until phase 3, you'll get to take a trip without leaving home for some of these exceptional programs. The Visitation Committee, led by Connie Falon, is going to have a special segment each week to highlight Rotarians going places. This will be a time to recognize our fellow Rotarians and share some good news. It might be that you saw a member got a promotion or a new job. Maybe a member got married or has a new grandbaby. This is where we also get to thank our fellow Rotarians for their work in the community. Think of this as our version of Happy Bucks, but without a fine. When you see good news, pass it along to the visitation community. Let's celebrate our fellow Rotarians. Operation Harvest co-chairs Sony Alexander and Ward Sutton have us going places. This year's food drive is scheduled for October 3rd. This will be the 37th year of Operation Harvest, and the need is certainly greater in our community than ever before. We're going back to the basics to encourage community members to put it on the porch. Our collection site will be configured to encourage masking and social distancing. We'll need all hands on deck, so please mark this date on your calendar and support this effort. Ways and Means co-chairs Quinn Dolan, Dan Sullivan, and Brad Kessinger, and their committee will have Rotarians going places. Rotarians will be going under the big top for the auction on November 21st. The funds from this event support our Rotary charities for 2 years. We know you're ready to get dressed up and have a night out on the town. So let's hope we move quickly to phase 4 and make sure to mark your calendar for this amazing event. Another of the places our Rotarians are going this year is to the Yakima Greenway. Back in 1994, Sunrise Rotary built McGuire Playground. The wooden structure is now nearly 30 years old and deteriorating. Our club has partnered with the Yakima Greenway Foundation, Sunrise Rotary, Southwest Rotary, and the Yakima Rotary Trust to build a beautiful new playground there. Project co-chairs Sunny Cameron and Dave Brown are leading the way. We're working with a company called Playgrounds by Leathers, and here are some examples of their work. Currently, we are in the design phase, and children from the Yakima School District have been asked to share with us their ideas for the playground design. They're pretty cute submissions, as you can see. I think this one over here has a merry-go-round, and there's a net to climb on this one in the middle. I think those are maybe some famous Greenway pelicans flying over. Now, this one on this page has a new aquatic center. It's a swimming pool. And then the one on the right has a periscope on it. We anticipate the playground build to be next spring and will be rebranded as Rotary Park at the Yakima Greenway. Not only are Rotarians going places, but we are actually on the move. After many years of the Rotary office being located on the 11th floor of the Larson building, the Rotary office will be moving this January. The new office will be located on the Yakima Valley College campus on the southwest corner of 16th and Nob Hill. This new location will offer a shared office space for Carolyn and Lorna, as well as Yakima Rotary Trust Executive Director Robin Beckett. Outside of the Rotary office space, there is access to multiple meeting rooms and even a patio for board or committee meetings. We can also use the larger space when the convention center is unavailable. With ample parking and easy access, we'll also benefit as the Rotary wheel will be visible on the front door and right inside the interior, further expanding the footprint of the Rotary brand in our community. So as you can see, Rotarians are going places. The future is bright indeed. Here's to the next 100 years for Rotary and for Yakima. Thank you for your time and your commitment to Rotary. Dwayne, I turn the meeting back to you, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to share some of the plans for this year. It really is going to be an amazing year. Despite where we're starting off by Zoom, we still have so much opportunity in the community to be involved. I'd be happy to answer questions if anybody has them and wants to unmute.
Jennifer, I have one quick one. Do you ever sleep?
Not lately.
Jennifer, how did you arrive at the decision to improve McGuire Playground?
One of the things that's really interesting when you're selected as president-elect is the phone starts ringing and the emails start coming, and you are given an opportunity to meet with folks and learn about some of the needs in the community. McGuire Playground is a little special to me. When I first moved here to Yakima, following Terry from WSU, I didn't know anyone. I was on a 3-month internship at CAP TV and working in the newsroom. And CAP TV was a sponsor of the original McGuire Playground build. And it was something that really resonated with me, how the community came together as a diverse community and came out and built that playground very quickly in a few days. We live nearby the Greenway Path. I've taken the kids there many times. And so when it came to my attention that the structure really is falling apart, it was something that was just sort of near and dear to my heart. But one of the best decisions I ever made was to reach out to Southwest and to Sunrise and see if they wanted to partner with all 3 of us, since it was originally a Sunrise project. The Yakima Rotary Trust is supporting us. The district has provided us with a grant. So it really is all of the entities coming together that's going to make it such an amazing project. Well, hearing no other questions, I know that next up is Connie Falon with the Visitation Committee.
Can you see me? Hello? Well, welcome everybody. And President Jennifer, what a great talk, and we're gonna have such a great year. So part of my job as visitation, alias Rotarians Going Places, and I'm a chairperson that has a great team behind me, and we are going to bring smiles, lots of Yakima sunshine to all of you. So Vanna, AKA Dwayne, you could go ahead and start a little picture here, because I'd like to recognize some Rotarians in our club. And so cue it up. everybody recognizes Randy Beeler from City Hall. And I wanted to share with everyone in these kind of dark, dull times, the beautiful, beautiful flower baskets in Yakima. And I told Randy I needed a picture, and there's some beautiful baskets above, but I just wanted to bring some good old Yakima sunshine to all of you, and thank Randy for providing all the beautiful baskets to make Yakima a beautiful place to live. I'm going to highlight 3 of our fabulous Rotarians that are helping to provide much needed food to those who are suffering from the pandemic. So our Northwest Harvest team, we actually have 3 Rotarians, Sherry Bissell, Carmen Mendez, and Chris Hales, who are all part of the Northwest Harvest team. And Sherry being the Community Engagement Manager for Central Washington. Carmen Mendez is our Agricultural Procurement Representative. And Chris Hales is a board member of Northwest Harvest. And let me tell you, Northwest Harvest is amazing. Since the COVID, I wanted to share some big facts for you. Northwest Harvest is a distribution center for all of Washington. Our Yakima distribution center has distributed 35,000 12-pound emergency food boxes to food banks and meal programs in the 4 counties assigned by the governor's task force. That equals 420,000 pounds of food since March. Isn't that crazy? In addition to the regular food bank and meal program distribution, the Yakima Distribution Center has distributed almost 88,000 pounds of food since March. That is all in additional emergency response to our churches, our community centers, our farm workers, our schools, our veterans, our low-income senior housing. I just have to say wow to these Rotarians. You're really making a difference and putting a lot of smiles on every face. All right, next picture. Is going to be Nick Helms with the Salvation Army. I want everybody to know Nick is an incredible Rotarian in our membership. He is with the Corr for our local Salvation Army. And as you know, Salvation Army is known for helping those in need. They do an outstanding job in helping with utility bills, fuel, clothing, furniture. But I wanted to include Nick in the outstanding work of Salvation Army providing food to the needy during this pandemic. Nick explained to me that Salvation Army since March has given out 275,000 pounds of food, and they've served about 2,700 families with a total of food boxes at about 3,900. Way to go. We are so lucky to live in this valley and share our bounty of great food with others in a real time of need. And so thank you so much, Nick. We all appreciate your efforts. All right, one more to go, one more happiness. I couldn't resist. I saw this, and Russ and Nancy Mazzola celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary in June. What a great accomplishment that is. And I love the picture in the paper. And so I apologize that it's not the best on the screen, but what a handsome couple they are. And to 50 more years. Everybody, congratulations to Russ and Nancy Mazzola. And if any of you Rotarians know of other Rotarians going places, please share with me, and we'll be happy to recognize and put smiles on all your faces. Happy 4th of July.
Wonderful. Thank you, Connie. When I talked to Connie about this new idea of visitation being involved with sharing good news of our community, it was a new concept and you've done it beautifully. Thank you. It's everything I hoped it would be. Well, gang, it's time for me to sign off. I appreciate the opportunity to have had time to address you all today. And in traditional format, I will tell you about next week's program. It's going to be Corey Gibson. Corey's presented programs to us in the past, and he's one of our favorites. But his topic next week is very interesting. It's about a local company in Sela that has created a way to analyze the DNA of beef to determine the tenderness of the meat. So fire up the grill, throw a steak on, and join us for lunch next Thursday. Look forward to seeing you there. Rotarians, we're adjourned.